Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on Popcross Studios. Today we're gonna check out as he venomizes some of our favorite mons. Well, probably not some of our favorite mons. No, well, there's probably a few favorites there from some people out there. Anyway, let's check it out.
Lately I've been making an effort to try and go back to some of the topics that really helped launch this channel, like Ben 10, My Hero Academia, Godzilla, and the type of video that I used to make a lot was venomizing things. But there's one video in that series that kind of stands out to me as being one that really deserved better. The art turned out okay, the narrator was kind of annoying, and really I think it's overdue for me to give Pokemon Venomized another crack. Plus, friend of the channel, Dempsey J Illustrations, recently took another try at this as well, so that made me all the more inclined to do the same. His episode will be linked in the description, by the way. But let's give this another shot, shall we? Let's go.
Hit like if you want, subscribe if you feel like, but either way, enjoy the show.
Oh, Nikolai Kage's log, day 1 of hopefully no more than, I don't know, 4. I've been put on to researching a topic that isn't worth anyone's time because Professor Pirellian, who was studying this, just up and died. He fell off a cliff while researching literally nobody's favorite Pokemon, Weezing. Then, apparently he even got trampled on by a Rhydon just to make sure he was dead. But honestly, not to be insensitive to the dead, but it seemed like his mind had taken a tumble off a cliff long before his body did. Listening back to his logs, he makes it sound like this weird little event he was studying was about to start making headlines across the world, when really, besides his research and some little random snippets of footage online, nobody seems to care about what he was talking about in this non-event. Basically, some Pokemon have recently been getting infected by some parasite thing, and it's just
It's not Pokerus, I can tell you that.
barely a big enough deal that I've been asked by our research team to look into it more to make sure it's nothing important or scary. I should have just said no when Professor Maybelle Parker asked me to look into this. Pretty sure I was just thrown off by her pungent perfume. I never trust anyone who wears that
Okay, that was a little bit of a strange audio glitch. I'm not sure if that was him or me.
stuff. Always makes me want to ask, what are you hiding? Is your natural scent really that bad that you need to cover it up with dead liquefied flowers and animal secretion? Which is what perfume is, by the by. Anyway, I got his field notes from his last day, which I guess someone on our team went and plucked off of his corpse, and it seems like he was saying one of these symbiotic parasites had gotten onto a Weezing. Not even one of those fun Weezings from the Galar region with the top hats and the mustaches. Apparently this parasite was...
of course, it's a Cantonian Weezing, not a Galarian Weezing, to where it's all Doug Dimmadome, oh no, the Dimsdale Dimmadome, and all of that.
doing the same thing that the other ones from his other cases had done. But I wouldn't be surprised if in all of these cases the old kook had just been exaggerating to try and make the whole thing seem like a bigger deal than it actually is. He said that the first head of the Weezing to get covered in the weird goop instantly became more aggressive. He wrote in his notes that it also changed color and its eyes had changed shape. Plus, he said the other head of this Weezing resisted longer, using the smog and sludge that these gross floating toot scooters can shoot to try and keep the goo off, but it was no use, and eventually both heads were covered in the parasite. From there, he said that the gas that is just always spitting out of these things was that much more potent, and it was actually killing the plants beneath this thing as it floated along.
Okay.
I'd be willing to bet that Professor Maybelle's perfume could still give that gas a run for its money.
Damn, how bad
seemed
is
to
it?
think that this thing was headed off towards the Burbank Industrial Complex, but that's where his notes end because that's probably when he took a tumble off the cliff. And that, kids, is why you don't take notes while walking around in the woods. I'm gonna do my due diligence to try and track this thing down.
I mean, he's right.
And hopefully prove that this isn't worth my or anyone else's time.
Gotta say, starting off with a Weezing, brave choice considering Weezing isn't really a favorite of anyone unless you're James.
Kage's log
Ooh,
day 5,
okay.
and I guess I have to admit, Pirellian may not have been as batty as I first thought. I spent a few days looking around Burbank City and its industrial complex, and I didn't think I was going to find anything, but eventually I saw the wheezing he was talking about, and it had gotten about twice the size of a regular wheezing. It was absorbing the fumes from all around it, as wheezings usually do, but
Okay.
what it was spitting back out was corrosive enough to melt metal. Seemed like these parasite things
Wait a minute. How would a Venom even be able to actually? I mean, how would a Clintorian even be able to reach a species like this? Considering that this species, this breed of species of Pokemon, was specifically designed to be loud as hell itself. One loud screech and that symbiote ain't moving.
were a bit more
Ever.
dangerous than I originally thought, but still not nearly as bad as the professor turned pancake had thought before his untimely splat and squish. I went back through Pirellian's notes and saw that these parasites have a strong aversion to loud noise, which honestly I can relate to. I thought about bringing my niece's terrible metal band out to that area to blast this thing with irredeemably loud and annoying noise, but instead I just borrowed a Loudred from one of my co-workers. We got nice and close to the wheezing, and Loudred did its thing, shrieking at the top of its lungs and stomping its feet, which seemed redundant to me, but I let it do its thing. The wheezing started to lose its mind, and the parasite was wigging out, trying to retreat. It fell off of the wheezing and just lay in a pile of goo on the ground. Loudred finally shut its cake hole, and I went up to put the sample in a vial. Unfortunately, it darted under my legs and leapt up onto my coworker's Loudred and infected it instead. Before it could do anything else, I just returned the Loudred into its Pokeball. But weirdly enough, the parasite went in with it.
Oh,
the
that's
thing
not
was
good.
clearly trying to get back out of the ball, so I did what any rational person would do, and I duct taped the Pokeball shut. I honestly don't know why more people don't just do this when trying and failing to catch a wild Pokemon. Duct tape the ball shut, and it can't then open to let the Pokemon go. I make sure to carry a hefty roll of duct tape with me.
No, that actually is a question. Why don't people duct tape it? I mean, that honestly seems like it would be a good idea to finally capture that legendary.
Everywhere I go, because you never know when a duct tape moment is going to rear its head. Anyway, I went out to an isolated location in the woods, put on some noise-canceling headphones, and let the Loudred out for a bit to see what it was like with the parasite on it. I assumed it would be easy for the Loudred to get the thing off, but apparently these things can adapt to the abilities of Pokemon they infect. Loudred had grown a long, gross tongue and had a lot more teeth in its mouth than it had before. Funny enough, it was also starting to look a bit like an X-Ploud, which Loudreds obviously evolve into. It seems that these parasites can bring out traits of the Pokemon's evolutionary line even before they are ready to evolve. Didn't see anything about that in the old man's notes, but I did see after the fact that he had talked about these parasites adapting, so I'll own that. I guess I could have seen it coming. Anyway, the Loudred was clearly not thrilled about having been trapped in its ball, because pretty quick it shot me with a cannon of sound that sent me flying back into a tree. Hurt like a trick, but I still managed to get the thing back in its ball and tape it up again. Thank you, duct tape. Now I gotta figure out how to get this thing off the Loudred before I give it back to Professor Schultz, or he's gonna lose his freaking mind.
Literally.
So I guess that ends my log for today.
Well, alright, I gotta say, this is interesting, and I actually like how he added in, and how the Clintorian can actually change the mon a bit to look like its evolution. Ooh, nope. We're back, and we're moving on to the bug boy himself, Scyther.
Kage's log, day 9, and I've read all Pirellian's notes now at this point, because I'll be darned if the old man wasn't on to something here. Maybe I'm drinking too much of his Kool-Aid, but it's starting to seem like these things could actually change the whole freaking world, and not in a happy sunshine and rainbows kind of way either. While I was on my way back to our labs, planning to get the symbiote off of Schultz's Loudred with some help from some electric-type Pokemon, because apparently electricity is good against these things as well, I saw another one of these things out in the wild. Coincidence? Is it? Am I just attracting this craziness to me now? Is this some kind of curse Pirellian has dumped onto me? I don't know. But out of the flippin' blue, I came across a Scyther getting taken over by one of these red parasite things. The Scyther seemed to be
oh, it's a red one now. Okay, this one must be Carnage.
Resisting better than my coworker's useless Loudred had, but this red parasite was persistent. Eventually, the Scyther got taken over completely, and of course it saw me and attacked. On instinct, I just tore the duct tape off of Loudred's ball and threw it out there to see what would happen. I mean, all I've got of my own in terms of Pokemon is a Miltank, but that thing can fight about as well as a $2 turtle. I never trained it, I just keep it around.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say, hey, he doesn't know Whitney then, but no, he said he's never trained it, so that's fine.
Because I really like milk. Anyway, I guess I lucked out because these parasites don't seem to be all buddy with each other. The Scyther still attacked, but Loudred's shrieking worked real well.
Good.
That is, until Scyther clawed its way close enough to the Loudred to touch it. The red symbiote from Scyther latched onto Loudred's symbiote and sort of merged with it for a sec, and after that, it was no longer getting hurt from the sound anymore. So these things can transfer their invulnerabilities to one another. I don't know how many of these things are out there, but if they can do that, then what's to stop them from eventually just becoming invulnerable to everything?
Fire!
Anyway, after that, I just ran. I mean, the Loudred was at least still distracting the Scyther, and if I had called it back into its Pokeball, I would have been turned into cheap sushi by the Scyther. I will get my coworker's Loudred back eventually, but I first have to find someone who can actually handle these things. Pirellian's notes did mention a man by the name of Edward Stone, who's got a Noivern that is itself bonded with one of these symbiotes and is still fighting alongside him. Obviously, its sound attacks will no longer be of any help, but at least I can work with someone who knows something about what the freak is going on here. But I have to try and keep a level head right now. I think I'm getting a little bit too riled up by all of this. I am a scientist after all. I can study this with a more level-headed attitude and figure out what exactly we can do next.
Alright, I like this one. I like how it's a Carnage symbiote instead of the classic black of Venom.
There is nothing that we can do. Kage's log day. Who even cares? Humanity is doomed. All the Pokemon are gonna turn into gooey monsters and take over the planet, and now I think Pirellian is just lucky that he popped off this plane before symbiotes took over. These things are
It's Rhydon's time. Oh god.
Now, I mean, I didn't see it happen, but there's no other explanation because these freaking things are sprouting up like daisies. And one has even gotten onto the Rhydon that fruit gushered Pirellian. As if Rhydons weren't tough enough already. Now we've got an aggro, gooey, freaking Alpha Chad Rhydon running around and nobody is taking it as seriously as they should be. And don't you dare think I don't see the irony here, alright? Sure, I thought Pirellian was up a creek without a Mareep, but I'm not as crazy as he is. I mean, that old...
Up a creek without a Mareep. I like that. That sounds like it would make a good shot.
Bat was studying Pokemon werewolves. Not listening to him made sense at the time. I wouldn't have been surprised to see that old guy running around at work one day screaming, I'm a vampire, or something crazy like that. But even a broken clock is right 3 times a day, and I'm telling people this is a problem, and they still won't Listen to me. He was crazy. I'm not crazy. He was crazy. I'm not crazy. I got in contact with that Edward Stone guy, and he said he's busy taking care of more of these things over in Paldea now. I told him to get his goofy butt down here, and he said I'd have to come to him if I wanted to chat more. Guess he didn't process that there is a freaking gooey ride-on-zilla stomping around ready to crush everyone and everything within a 10-mile radius of me. The only person who has listened to me so far has been Professor Maybelle Parker, but she's got no useful Pokemon either. She sent her nephew to come and work with me, and he at least has a Galvantua that can help a bit.
Okay,
even if
that's
these things
good.
aren't weak to sound anymore, apparently electricity is still pretty good against them, but even still, it's only a matter of freaking time before they get immune to that next, right? Huh? Am I right? Maybe they already are. Maybe they're immune to everything already. What's next if they attach themselves to a nuclear bomb? Are they gonna be immune to nukes next? Then what? Are they gonna find Arceus and latch onto it and just become a freaking gooey god of the world? Is this all karma for me not caring enough about Pirellian getting steamrolled? Is his soul just dancing around me laughing right now as the world burns? Maybe I deserve this, but you bet your goose, I'm gonna do whatever I have to get rid of these dumb, gooey monsters and save the freaking world, or my name isn't Professor Nikolai freaking Kage.
All I can say, man, is good luck and God bless you, because you need a freaking psychiatrist now. Shit.
But I still managed to get the thing back in its ball and tape it up again. Thank you, duct tape.
So weird. I never trained it. I just keep the thing around because I really like milk. Freaking Kage!
Some bloopers for us.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this character gets really sweaty. That's canon now. None of my co-workers are listening to me. Yeah, join the Blatant Club, pal. You're not the only one who's worked with a bunch of clowns, and you're not the only real angry professor on this channel for some reason. I concur with the statement made by Professor McGregor, though we have not actually met yet, canonically speaking. Yeah, this conversation ain't canon. This is just Popcross riffing because he's going insane doing a weird Nicolas Cage character for some reason in a Pokemon.
Oh, wait, that's who that was meant to be? Nicolas Cage? Oh, no wonder there was so much insanity. Okay, go on.
Video.
Now this feels like a Pokemon Venomized episode that I can be a little bit more proud of. By the way, if you want the
Yes.
high-resolution art and inks from this episode, you can get those by joining the Popcross Studios Patreon, where I always put up the high-resolution art and inks for a video a day before the actual video goes out. Plus, if you're new to this channel and you want more Pokemon stuff, you might want to check out my Pokemon as SCPs series, or maybe Pokemon as Dragons. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the thought I want to leave people with is actually a question that you might want to try asking yourself more regularly, which is, how often am I going into NPC mode? Like non-player character mode in a video game. I say this because I find there are plenty of times in a
Not
day
often.
where I'll notice that I've just let my mind and body go into default habit mode, and I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. And because I've programmed myself with a lot of really healthy habits, that's usually not an inherently bad thing, but it means I'm not really there living my life. So when I consciously make an effort to ask myself this more, I notice that I'm not being present and then can get more into what I'm actually doing. I hope that's inspiring to someone. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next.
I get what he's talking about. Well, anyway, folks, that's where we're going to end off today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description to the original video, so remember to support the original creator and all they do. And I'll see all of you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.